What's up, guys? I'm Kate with TypeMatch, and today I'm going to talk about the different types of relationships that people look for when they're in different stages of their life and depending upon their needs in that moment. So we'll get down to it, but first I want to say that I am not judging your relationship, okay? I'm not saying that it's an immature relationship or that you're underdeveloped or that your relationship isn't good or that you two aren't a good match. Like, if you're in a relationship and it's great, then like power to you. And I'm glad that you're on here and you're trying to learn more to make your relationship even better or to strengthen yourself as a person. That's really cool. So, I'm not advocating for anybody to break up, but ultimately, this is a dating app. So my goal is to teach people about potential matches and the ups and downs that those could have. So please, this is not a personal attack. All right, let's go. First type of relationship is a same type or a sister type relationship. A sister type, I'm not sure if that's a technical term for it, would be like you're the same type except for the E and I is switched. So like an INFJ and an ENFJ would be a sister type. So these relationships, I think, are what people are looking for when they need a lot of understanding in their life and they're trying to learn more about who they are, or just like have somebody who like understands their perspective and where they're coming from and can make them feel like less alone, or that they're not crazy, or to point out that, I think the same way that you do, and you are kind of crazy. That could also be really useful to know someone who's the same type as you, to expose your flaws or to expose like things you do that are super annoying, or to expose what you don't like about yourself, because now you can see that in somebody else from an outside perspective. So same type relationships can be very useful to learn and discover more about yourself through experiencing another person, and to like share things between the two, share perspectives, share thought processes, share like your experiences, like, yo man, I think this, what do you think? And they're like, man, same. It's like, thank you. Okay, somebody understands. And especially if you're like one of these rarer types, this can be like really exciting and energizing to find somebody who's like you. Ultimately, I think people look for this when they're younger. Like kids will do this. Not that I'm comparing you to a child, but kids will do this. They'll be like, Mom, Dad, I met this girl at school and she's just like me. Okay, because you want somebody who's the same as you. Maybe you're not ready to branch out and embrace all of those differences yet until you are fully comfortable within yourself. Just my perspective on it. So those are good as young relationships, as friendships, and to get perspective on yourself. Then activity pairs. I'm not sure if they're technically called this either. I'm sorry, but I think I heard this phrase once associated with these kinds of relationships, and I think it fits very well. So if I'm making up that name, whatever, let's roll with it because it's a good one. So activity pairs have opposite functions, but the hero and the inferior function will be flipped, and then the parent and the child function will be flipped. So let's take one, INTP and ISFP. So ISFP, their functions are, I don't like that marker. I got a new marker. Let's use a new one. Okay. Their functions are FISENITE. And an INTP is TINE. Wait, right? Yes. SIFE. Lost it for a second. Okay. So you can see that how the functions are in reverse order and flipped. And also you can see that it's introverts with introverts and extroverts with extroverts. So these relationships are often built like literally around activity. Like these two will have the same way of approaching things, want to do like sort of similar things. It's often built around like similar interests, and there will be a lot of doing things together. And these are nice relationships to help each other develop, because the one person's greatest strength can back up the other person's like weakness, and they can like help them grow in that weakness and help them grow more in themselves. So these are very like good relationships to have early on, when you're more open to experiencing difference and you want somebody who can help you develop. So, but ultimately, I think that as these types develop, they're likely to move in different directions in life and kind of just like grow apart. And maybe not. Maybe they can grow together, but the foundation of the relationship, once they get more into themselves, they don't need all of that support so much for their weaknesses and inferior function anymore. Now, that's just my hypothesis. Again, okay? Not saying your relationship is bad or that you guys are growing apart. And then mature relationships. Notice I didn't put any types down here, because you can't say that like just because you are in a relationship that's like a good match, that it's a mature relationship. That definitely depends upon you. It could be very, very toxic and volatile. But a mature relationship is one in which you are fully ready to embrace the differences of another person, like, and able to understand a different perspective, wanting to hear that different perspective, understanding that not everybody thinks like you do. And that's something that a lot of people are not ready for early on in their life. Like they can't understand that this person wouldn't do what I would do in this situation. So a mature relationship understands that. They're ready to try to learn about the other person and take an interest in how their mind works, and readily able to communicate to that other person like how their mind works, because they've taken time to understand themselves. So, it's like a cliche, like you need to work on yourself first before you can get into a relationship. And but that's really what that means, is you won't be ready to take on the perspective of another person and handle all of their differences until you are fully integrated within yourself and understand your own needs, that you can then communicate to the other person without just like expecting them to know, because they should want and feel the same things that I do. Yeah, so it's looking for a challenge instead of just comfort. And you can like comfort each other. It can be very comforting to, maybe they can understand you very well, but you want somebody who's going to like push on you, like someone like Jordan Peterson talks about, to contend with is very important. Someone whose strengths are your weaknesses and whose weaknesses are your strengths, and you're stronger together. And then you can develop along the same path and push each other to grow. But that's all I want to say about that today. If you want to know more, you could check out TypeMatch on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The TypeMatch app is now out on the Google Play Store for Android. Just check out TypeMatch, all one word, and I'll put the link to it in the description. The iOS version is coming very soon, just in a few weeks. But for now, you could check out typematchapp.com.